Hi. So here's the video lesson for our Writing 1 class today. It's about parallel structure. Okay, now we're using the word structure in the title here today. I just want to make clear we have talked in this class about sentence structure, and we've learned that there are three basic ways to structure a sentence. We can write a simple sentence, which just has one main clause. We can write a compound sentence, which has more than one main clause, joined by a coordinating conjunction. Or we can write a complex sentence, which has a main clause followed by, a subordinate clause followed by a main clause. Or the other way around, it can be a main clause followed by a subordinate clause. There is another structure for sentences which we don't usually talk about because it's just a combination of compound and complex. A sentence that's partly compound, partly complex. Now, so when I say parallel structure, I don't mean another way to write or to build or design a sentence. What we're talking about now and what we'll talk about for the next couple weeks are things that happen within a clause. So within a main clause that might be in one of those other sentence designs, or within a subordinate clause that might be in one of those other sentence designs. So this is not a new way to design a sentence. It's just something that might happen inside one of those clauses. Inside one of those clauses. Okay? If you take a look at the handout here, you can see that it says parallel form. So take a look at the first couple of sentences. I'm going to give you a minute to read the first 4 examples on there. Okay, read those. Sorry about that. Okay, so you notice the difference in these sentences. What we mean by parallel form, think about what parallel means in geometry. Parallel lines are lines that run along the same way, the same parallel lines like that, parallel lines or parallel lines. They go the same direction. They're the same. They stay the same in relation to one another. All right? That's kind of like what this means in grammar. It means that the grammatical form of certain parts of the sentence have to be the same. Now, we're not going to talk about it today, but one of the reasons why we want to know about this parallel structure is because there are comma rules that go with it, very comma rules that are tested a lot on the GED and the HiSET. But today we mostly want to focus on how we write a sentence in parallel form, how we stay in parallel form to write a sentence. So look at the first example where it says not parallel. The store is good for fruit, meat, and to buy cheese. Now, do you see there's a list? There's a list of things in that sentence. Fruit, meat, and to buy cheese. We have that list of things is known in grammar speak as items in a series. Items in a series. It just means a list of things. When we have a list of things like that in a sentence, then we need to make sure they're all written in the same form. If one of them's a noun, all of them have to be a noun. If one of them's a certain kind of verb, all of them have to be a certain kind of verb. If one's an adjective, all of them have to be adjectives. So look at this. Look at the things in this list. Fruit, meat, and to buy cheese. So fruit and meat, those are both just single nouns, but to buy cheese is not a single noun, right? So we have to make these all the same. Doesn't matter how we make them the same, they just have to be the same. So we could say the store is good for fruit, meat, and cheese. Or we could say the store is good to buy fruit, to buy meat, and to buy cheese. We could say it that way if we want. It's a little bit wordy, right? Doesn't matter how we make them all the same, but they have to be the same, okay? It's true whether there are only two things in the list. I couldn't say the store is good for fruit and to buy cheese. I would need to say the store is good for fruit and cheese. Look at the next pair. Doctors say I should run, swim, and go walking. Do you see there's a list in there? Run, swim, go walking. They all have to be the same, okay? So I could say, doctors say I should run, swim, and walk. Or doctors say I should go running, go swimming, and go walking. As long as they're all the same, then the sentence is written in correct parallel form. Look at the next example. It's a little harder. The meal was tasty, quick, and the food was good for you. So do you see the things in the list? Tasty, quick, and the food was good for you. All right, well, the problem here is I can't just leave something out to make the last part match the others. I'm going to have to come up with a whole different word, a word that means the food was good for you. Because I can't just say it was tasty, quick, and good, because that would mean tasty, quick, and it tasted good. What I mean, it was tasty, good, and good for you. So what's a word that means good for you? I could say it was tasty, quick, and healthful, or healthy, right? That would work. See, so I can't just leave out part of what's there already like I could with the other two sentences. I actually have to find a different word. And the same thing for the next paragraph. In the rain, I drove slowly, carefully, and watch out for other drivers. Okay, so I can't just say I drove slowly, carefully, and watchedly. There's no such word, right? I have to come up with a word that means that I'm watching out for other drivers, an adverb that means I'm watching out. So I decided we could say, I drove slowly, carefully, and defensively. Defensively means I'm watching out for other drivers. Okay? All right. Now in that sentence, the three things in the list were all adverbs. In the sentence before, the three things in the sentence were all adjectives. The sentence before that, they were all verbs. And the first sentence, they were all nouns. So to be parallel, they have to have be the same grammatically. If one of them's a noun, they all have to be nouns. If one is an adverb, they all have to be adverbs. All right, and then the one at the bottom, the qualities I admire most in a man are honesty, courageous, and compassion. Honesty is a noun, courageous is an adjective, compassion is a noun. So I need to change that adjective to a noun. So the qualities I admire most in a man are honesty, courage, that's a thing, and compassion. Or I could change them all to adjectives. I could say, I admire most a man who is honest, courageous, and compassionate. Now they'd all be adjectives. Okay? So you can try some of the other ones on here, and we'll have another short video where we practice a little. Okay? All right.